You someone that feels like your work needs to be meaningful, or is it just a means to an end for you? Because there's something about being home where you're from for the holidays that reminds you about who you used to be. And something that I occasionally reflect on, but that's really obvious to me when I'm home, is I was not always a career centered person. And part of that is because I'm from the Bible Belt, real religious family, Catholic evangelical, I like to say, where of course I was conditioned to be a wife and mother above all else. Well, a saint first, and then, a wife and mother. Catholics, if you know, you know. But a career was supposed to be like, of course, something that, like, there's always that Protestant work ethic is something you do well for the sakes of doing well and working hard, but it was not the center of my life as much as family and other things that brought me joy. But I think at some point, when I realized how much time it takes, I was like, well, if I'm going to spend this much time doing it, I want it to be something not just that I enjoy, but that is meaningful, that brings meaning to my life. But that is very difficult to do in the current system we're in, because a lot of it, you're like, the meaning is making somebody else wealthy, and at not just at the expense of boredom, but at the expense of like draining resources from where it is needed. I'm self-employed, so this doesn't really apply to me now, but I get a lot of comments from people who are like, just do your job and go home. When you care about it, it makes work a bigger deal than it needs to be, so the stresses are a bigger deal. But then I still have that part of me that really loves that because I'm self-employed, I get to do what matters to me every day. I realize not everybody has that option or that desire. I know, being an IO psychologist, that most people do want meaningful work. Meaningful work is a predictor of job satisfaction, job performance, etc. People would not just do nothing with their life if they didn't have to. Now, would they work 40 plus hours a week doing what someone else tells them to do if they didn't risk losing their health care and having no way of surviving? No. And that's the caveat, is it's like people wouldn't be inherently lazy, but what we expect of people now is also like insane. And I know there's going to be people who are like, well, people always had farms and that was like round the clock, and it's like, yes, and also like there were seasons, harvest and planting, and also there were seasons of rest. So that's also a little different. So just thoughts while I'm in the hometown.